We live in the cosmos, so we must study it. It is so vast that it contains trillions of stars, as well as an countless multitude of galaxies and planets. However, this is only the visible universe. Scientists agree that there is much more to explore in the unknown universe than we can imagine. In this article, we will explore the top 50 most interesting yet lesser-known facts about the cosmos. Before we begin, I want to remind you that if you enjoy articles like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. 1. Space begins at a certain altitude above our planet. The boundary between the Earth's atmosphere and space is called the Kármán line. It is located at an altitude of 100 kilometers above sea level. 2. The largest object with a crew aboard in space is the International Space Station. 3. Space is actually a vacuum, containing very little matter. 4. Spacecraft have visited all the planets of the solar system. 5. The age of the universe is 13.8 billion years. Since its inception, resulting from the Big Bang, it has been expanding. 6. In the visible or known universe, there are almost 2 trillion galaxies. 7. The Milky Way galaxy contains between 100 and 400 billion stars. 8. There is no sound in space because molecules are so far apart that they cannot transmit sound. However, space is not entirely silent. Radio waves can be sent and received. 9. The space between galaxies is not empty. On average, there is 1 atom per cubic meter. 10. The volcano on Mars is 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Olympus is a volcano on Mars, with a width of 600 kilometers and a height of 21 kilometers. It is the tallest mountain in the entire solar system. The central peak of the asteroid Vesta Rhea Silvia, height of 22 kilometers, is 1 kilometer higher than Mount Olympus. The base of Mount Olympus is the size of Arizona. 11. The Sun contains 99.86% of the total mass of the entire solar system. The mass of the Sun is 330,000 times greater than the mass of the Earth. 12. The dwarf planet Ceres is considered the largest asteroid. It is located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. It was discovered by Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi in 1801. Its width is 965 kilometers. Nevertheless, it is the smallest dwarf planet in the solar system. 13. Did you know that there is a massive cloud of water vapor in space? It contains 140 trillion times more water than all the Earth's oceans combined. It is located about 10 billion light-years away. 14. If 2 pieces of the same metal or material collide in space, they permanently bond together. This is called cold welding, and the atoms of the 2 parts have no awareness of their separation. This phenomenon cannot be observed on Earth, as water and air are present between the pieces. 15. The Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies will collide in the next 3.75 billion years. The Andromeda galaxy is approaching our galaxy at a speed of 110 kilometers per second. 16. There is a planet called 55 Cancri. Its radius is twice that of Earth, and its mass is 8 times greater. According to research conducted by Yale University, the surface of this planet consists of diamonds and graphite. It is located about 40 light-years from Earth but is visible to the naked eye. It is located in the Cancer constellation. 17. NASA's spacesuit costs $12 million. 70% of the cost is attributed to the control module and the backup. 18. The densest and tiniest entities in the known universe are neutron stars. They have a radius of about 10 kilometers, but their mass is several times greater than that of the Sun. They rotate up to 60 times per second after birth. Then the rotation speed increases to 600 to 712 times per second. They are born as a result of the explosion of the core of a supernova. 19. Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story is spent 15 months on the International Space Station. He returned to Earth on September 11, 2009. 20. Halley's Comet will pass by Earth again on July 26, 2061. The comet was discovered by Edmund Halley in 1705. It was last seen on February 9, 1986. 21. In our solar system, there are 5 recognized dwarf planets. These are Ceres, Pluto, Eris, Makemake, and Haumea. 22. The Chinese observed Halley's Comet as early as 240 BCE. Starting from 164 BCE, they documented each appearance of the comet. 23. The central part of a comet is called the nucleus, and the visible dust streams behind it are called the tail. 24. There are 88 recognized constellations in our sky. 25. Moonlight takes only 1.3 seconds to reach Earth. The distance between Earth and the Moon is 384,400 kilometers. 26. Regular pens work based on the principle of gravity. Ink flows due to the force of gravity. Since gravity is absent in space, pens do not write there. 27. Jupiter's gravitational force is so strong that it attracts a significant percentage of asteroids, comets, and other celestial objects. 28. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is 3 times larger than Earth, but it is shrinking as you read these facts. 29. A red dwarf is a star that is smaller and cooler than other stars. It is a late stage in its life. The surface temperature of a red dwarf is around 7,200 Kelvin. They can burn continuously for 10 trillion years. 30. The Milky Way galaxy is known as the Silver River in China. In Japan and Korea, it is simply referred to as the galaxies. 31. Gennady Padalka spent more time in space than any other person. He was a cosmonaut of the Russian Federal Space Agency, spending 879 days in space. He worked both on the International Space Station and on the Mir Space Station. 32. Everyone has heard of NASA, but do you know what the acronym NASA stands for? It stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It was established in 1958 by the United States federal government. 33. The word astronaut comes from 2 Greek words astron, star, and nauts, sailor. Thus, an astronaut is a star sailor. 34. The first mammal sent into space was Laika, a stray dog. This happened on November 3, 1957. Unfortunately, she died 5 to 7 hours after the start of the flight due to stress and overheating. 35. Earth is 81 times heavier than the Moon. 36. Due to the absence of gravity, astronauts cannot burp in space. This is because air cannot separate from food and rise upward. 37. The only planet that can float on the surface of water is Saturn. It is also the lightest planet. It can float on the water's surface because it is mostly composed of gas. 38. Mercury continues to contract even 4.5 billion years after the formation of the solar system. 39. Comets are remnants of matter from the formation of the solar system. They consist of carbon dioxide gas, ice, and sand. 40. Chimpanzees, dogs, guinea pigs, and monkeys have all flown in space. 41. The Earth's axis changes over time. This phenomenon is called precession. The shift in the axis happens very slowly and gradually. Due to precession, in approximately 13,000 years, Polaris will cease to be our North Star. It will be replaced by the star Vega. One precession cycle takes 26,000 years. 42. Iapetus, one of Saturn's moons, has a 2-tone coloration. One side of the moon is darker than the other. This phenomenon is not observed on any other moon in the solar system. The reason for this 2-tone coloration is that Iapetus is far beyond Saturn's rings and, therefore, it is bombarded by space debris. Collisions create dark areas on Iapetus. 43. Earth receives more energy from the Sun in 1 hour than it uses in an entire year. 44. The Moon lacks an atmosphere, wind, and water that could erase the footprints of astronauts, imprints of spacecraft, and lunar rovers. They will last for millions of years. However, micrometeoroids continue to bombard the Moon's surface, eventually leading to erosion. But the erosion rate is very slow. 45. If you were on the equator of Mars, the temperature at your feet would be warm, while at your head it would be cold. 46. If you combine all the known asteroids in the solar system, their total mass would be less than 10% of the Moon's mass. 47. Valles Marineris is the largest canyon system in the solar system. Its length is about 4,000 kilometers. It is 9 times longer and 4 times deeper than the Grand Canyon. 48. Io, one of Jupiter's moons, is the most volcanically active celestial body in the entire solar system. Its bulging yellowish surface resembles a pepperoni pizza. 49. The craters at the lunar south pole may be the coldest areas in the solar system. The daytime temperature does not rise above -238 degrees Celsius. 50. The center of the Milky Way galaxy smells like rum and tastes like raspberries. How do we know? This information was discovered by the IRAM radio telescope when it focused on a gas cloud called Sagittarius B2. IRAM detected ethyl formate, which gives rum its distinctive smell and raspberries their taste. That's all. If you enjoyed this article, be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss new and interesting articles about the most fascinating topics.